I have the king of kings of Morgan dollars. 1895 Philadelphia.
All right.
Proof 64 cameo. This is one of 880 originally minted proof coins.
Damn, that's pretty amazing. These things are almost like hen's teeth.
I came down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my 1895 cameo Liberty dollar. In the coin collecting world, the 1895 is extremely sought after. I hope to sell it today, and we're going to get top dollar for it.
Coins like this just don't come in the shop that often. I can't stress enough how rare this is. To the right collector, this coin could go for thousands and thousands of dollars.
I really do dig it.
The reason I love this coin so much is the fact that it is so rare that virtually no one has it in their Morgan dollar collection, because it is so difficult to get a hold of.
Okay. Were you looking to sell it, or?
Yes.
What were you looking to get out of it?
100,000.
Ooh. And where did you get that number?
That number, basically, we as a family decided that that's what we want for this coin.
Do you mind if I have someone look at it? I mean, I have a guy who works for me right here. He follows the auctions. He'll know right off the top of his head.
Yeah.
I'd love to buy this off you if there's some money to be made.
Understood.
If the deal is right, we'll make a deal.
Okay.
Okay? This is it.
Huh.
You know, it is an 1895p.
Yeah, this is a great coin. 1895 is a great year for all Morgans, but the proof from Philadelphia definitely the most sought after out of all the 95s. You can obviously tell this is a proof coin. That proof finish there, that high mirror finish there on the fields definitely is the first indication of a proof style coin. I think only 880 were made, and about half that are still in existence.
Okay.
They do pop up, but it's still a very rare coin. In 1895, the Morgan dollar was only made in 3 cities: Philadelphia, New Orleans, and San Francisco. All had very low mintages, but the Philadelphia was absolutely the lowest. We don't see coins of this quality come in the shop that often, so it would be great to get this in our showcase.
I'm asking 100,000.
Ooh. Oi. There was actually an NGC encapsulated one, proof 64 cameo. I believe it went for 52,000. And there was also a PCGS graded one, same exact grade, proof 64 cameo. And I think that went for a little less than that, 48,000.
I have a few regular customers I can call, but they're not going to pay me much more than 50 grand for it. And if you want 40 grand for it, I'll give you 40 grand.
That's a great offer. However, I'm going to have to stick to my guns.
So you're going to stick at 100 grand?
I am.
Okay. Maybe you can sell it in 20 years.
Maybe.
Have a nice day,
Hey,
man.
thank you so much.
All right.
I know someone out there is going to pay that 100K for it. I'm not really too concerned about it. I was really hoping that he would just fall in love with it and just have to have it.
What can I help you with?
Well, I've got a really cool $50.
Okay. It is a 1906, 50 cents, improperly cleaned, John W. Gill. And what is that supposed to be?
He was one of the victims of the Titanic.
Whoa.
This coin is an incredible link to history, one of the most famous maritime disasters. It has an unbroken chain of pedigree all the way back to 1912. I paid $75,000 for the coin about a year ago, but I'd really like to reappropriate the funds and buy some more toys for some of my collections.
And how much are you looking to get out of it?
About $125,000.
And where did you come up with that figure?
Okay, a $1 bill that came off of one of the survivors of the Titanic sold for $125,000. Now, the story of the Titanic isn't the survivors, it's the victims. So kind of figure this has to be worth the same kind of money. It's got $1 million story behind it.
I'm a little bit intrigued. Let me call a coin buddy of mine. Let me have him take a look at it.
Absolutely.
This is what I called you about. It's $50 supposedly off the Titanic.
Wow, it's a fantastic item.
Do you know anything about it?
Well, John Gill was one of the unfortunate victims. He was 24 years old, second-class passenger, left his new bride to start a new life, and there are very detailed records that I was able to access that describe the kinds of things that were found on Mr. Gill's corpse. There's a gold watch, there's a gold ring with his initials on it, but there were coins in there, and this is one of them.
So what do you think it's worth?
Well, apparently this coin had sold in 2011 for about $3,850, and then again in 2014 for about $21,000. A coin like this really has to reach the ultimate audience, where you could justify charging much more than that.
So 21,000.
Right in that ballpark.
I mean, if it sold like a year ago for 21, there's no way of justifying 125. I just don't see it happening. It's something I'd pay like 10 grand for, because it's something where the price waxes and wanes. Just depends on how cool the Titanic is at that time. You know, so, I mean, is there a realistic price you'd be willing to take for it?
I guess I'd really need to be at 75. Yeah, I mean,
there's no way we're gonna make a deal then.
understood.
Okay. Have a nice day, man.
You as well. Thanks so much.
Something you might be interested in. What do you got? Take a look at this. Of a very old coin.
This is one of the coolest coins the United States ever made. For lack of a better term, the U.S. Booby coin.
The Booby coin. I came into the pawn shop today to try to sell one of my grandfather's old coins. He just passed away, and I mean, I don't know that much about it, but I believe it's worth some money.
That is really, really cool. Teddy Roosevelt wanted us to have pretty coins. Everyone else in the world had beautiful coins. Why couldn't we? It was during the Art Nouveau movement, which was, Art Nouveau is just French for the new art. A lot of people were upset about the design. They went from like flowing everything to like terrible looking like chainmail vest on Lady Liberty there. You know, I'm not really into fashion, but I'm telling you, it just didn't match. The Standing Liberty Quarter was released in 1916, but when the American public saw this coin and realized that there was an exposed breast on it, it really upset a lot of people. One of the great things about this coin right here is it's toned a little bit, okay? Silver oxidizes a little bit, which isn't a bad thing on a coin. I personally like it on a lot of coins because when you have a really shiny silvery coin, you can't see the details. And when it tones, you can.
Okay.
If you're a coin collector, it's one of those things you probably want.
Right.
Okay, so I'm assuming you want to sell it?
Yeah.
Okay. How much you want for it?
It's got to be worth 500 bucks.
Yeah, actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm assuming this coin's worth anywhere between 12 and 1,700 bucks.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Okay.
I have a friend who works for one of these coin grading companies.
Okay.
He will tell me what the grade will be, okay? If you can hang out a little bit, I'll go grab him. We can figure out the exact grade. Do you have a little time to hang out?
I actually don't. I have a final.
I'll tell you what, your best case scenario would be 1,200 bucks. Your worst case scenario would be 800 bucks. I'll give you 1,000 bucks. Okay? It's a fair offer.
Well, I do have to get out of here, and that's double what I was looking for, so
Okay,
you have
man.
a deal.
All right, man, I'll meet you right over there. I'm gonna take this with me. I don't want no one stealing it.
All right. I'm pretty excited that I'm gonna get more for my coin than what I initially thought it was valued at. That's gonna pay for a lot for my school, and it's gonna go a long ways.
So I'm here in Boston because I found this person who has a 1652 New England Shilling, literally the first coin ever minted in the colonies. So if I could pick this thing up, I could make my own serious coinage. You must be Ed.
Rick.
And that is it. Of colonial coins, that's the Holy Grail. These were the first coins struck in the colonies. They were really, really proud of it, even though it's possibly the plainest coin ever made.
I have a 1652 New England silver shilling. I found the coin about 30 years ago in the Boston area, and recently I found out that it was a very valuable and rare coin. I've had it for a period of time, and I just want to be able to share it with somebody else who has the same interest that I do.
It's super, super cool. In the 1650s, the colonies still considered themselves British subjects. They just wanted a little bit more autonomy. And this was sort of like saying, you know, we're not completely independent from England, but kind of independent from England. So this was sort of another step towards pissing off the English. All right, yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. It hasn't been clipped. You never see old coins complete like this because people would go and they would clip a teeny bit off, and next one file a little bit off, next one file a little bit off, and next thing you know, they have 2 shillings worth of silver. But the problem is that eventually there'd be next to no coin left. That's why Sir Isaac Newton invented the reeded edge on a coin.
It's an awfully good shape.
We got NE there for New England. And we have a 12 on the back of it. What's the 12 for?
I would say 12 pence.
Okay, that's what a shilling is, yeah, all right. I'm just shocked to see it. God, it's in great shape. In the coin collecting world, it's one of the big ones. So, here's the big question. What do you want for this thing?
Well, I've seen it at auction anywhere between $250,000 upwards of $400,000. So I think that's a good starting point.
Yeah, but you didn't give me a starting point.
So how about $300,000?
Okay. What about 2 1/4?
I don't know if I'd want to go that low. Can we meet at 250?
It's just in really great shape. And at 250, I still make some money. So we got a deal.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate you
All right,
coming
cool.
in, Rick. So I was very happy to make the sale today. And with the money, my wife's been pestering me to get out of the cold New England winters. So maybe I'll buy a second home in a warmer climate.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
All right. What can I help you with?
I brought something that I think would be pretty popular here in Vegas. It is a Roman erotic tessera. It's a brothel token from ancient Rome.
I don't know why you would say we need this in Vegas.
I'm here today to sell my ancient Roman brothel token. I buy and sell coins, and I come across odd things like this, and I bought it because I thought it was a good value to resell it. Brothel tokens aren't something that I collect.
This is, right around, 180.
About the time of Christ, Tiberius Augustus, right about in there.
Most people really don't think of Rome the way it really was. It was a really highly advanced society. Literally 2,000 years ago, they had sewer systems that weren't matched until the 20th century. And they actually had brothels, and the very large ones would have brothel coins. It was basically the way the system was. Brothels had bars, all this other stuff. They had girls that worked upstairs. And if you wanted to go see one of the girls upstairs, you would literally go to the counter and you would pay your money. And when he went upstairs to see his girl, he would go to booth 5.
Right.
And that way the girl would take the money, and then they knew that there would be no accounting issues. It was a way to make sure that the girls didn't steal the money from management. So where'd you get it?
Well, I've been dealing in foreign ancient coins most of my life, and it's what I do for a living, and I bought it off another dealer who acquired it in Europe.
Did he have any background on it?
No, but the depictions on it match up very closely to the frescoes that are on the walls of the brothel in Pompeii.
Okay. How much do you want for this?
I'd like to get around 10 grand for it.
Okay. I don't know exactly how many of these that have been copied. I'm sure they do copy them. Let me call in a guy who would be an expert on this. Expert in ancient coins, not brothels. Or maybe both, I don't know. And I'm gonna get his opinion on this, all right?
Sure.
Give me a few minutes and we'll go make a phone call.
Okay.
Note to wife, never had to use one of these, never been one of those places. I just read history books.
Hey, Rick.
Dave, how's it going?
Good.
So I explained to this person you were an expert on brothels. I would know all about this.
Oh, my Lord.
Yes.
Not suitable for children.
I think it's a brothel coin. He says it's a brothel coin.
Well, it's certainly one explanation that these were used in brothels. During the reign of Tiberius, it was illegal to use coins with an emperor's portrait on them while paying in a brothel.
Okay.
So, it would be something you could use
in a brothel.
In a brothel.
Yeah, the depiction on the front of it is kind of self-explanatory.
No inscription required. May I take a closer look at it?
Yeah, go for it.
It's actually a very interesting series. On the front, you have an erotic scene. of some kind.
Well, it's not some kind. It's pretty explanatory what it is, yeah.
It's one of several. There are at least a dozen scenes that are recorded.
Okay.
And on the reverse, there's a letter in Roman numerals. And I believe they go through 1 through 16.
Okay.
So,
is it real?
A lot of counterfeits were made, but I took a good look. I think this is absolutely genuine. This is a good piece.
Okay, so what do these things go for?
If it were lesser condition, sometimes you can be looking at $1,500 or $2,000. If they're the most magnificent ones in existence, you can be looking at $25,000, $30,000. This one's at the higher end of in between. I think it's at least a $12,000 item.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you $7 grand for it.
I'd still like to get 10 grand for it.
I mean, what's your best price on it?
You do 9 on it?
I'll go 8 grand. We have to admit it's a little odd and it's a little not exactly PC.
Sure, sure, I get it. 8 grand's fine, man.
All right, sweet. I'll meet you right over there and we'll do some paperwork.
Okay, sounds good. I'm happy with the deal. I got more than what I paid for it, and I've got enough money to go buy a new toy for my collection.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, good. I have something you might be interested in here.
What do you got?
I have a really old coin.
That is cool, and that is not a coin. This is a Benjamin Franklin terracotta plaque. These were really popular in France back in the late 1700s.
It's a coin to me. I got this through my grandfather's estate. It just was in a really nice fancy box, and I figured, oh, it's gotta be worth something. I'm coming down here looking for $10,000. $10,000 is gonna buy me a lot of textbooks. I'm a broke college kid. Might even pay for some beer.
Ben Franklin in 1777 goes to France because we need some money. When this guy shows up in France, he's hanging out with French royalty. Everyone wanted to meet this guy. Everyone wanted to be around him. People loved him so much, a company started making these plaques. And they were hanging them on their wall because everyone loved him because he was such a rock star. Ben Franklin is arguably the most loved founding father. But that doesn't mean everything associated with him is collectible. And even though this terracotta medallion is really, really cool, I have no idea what this thing is worth. It's in really, really good shape. I'm assuming it was put in this box later, years down the road, and they glued it to the back, so I don't know if that's gonna be a big deal. How much are you looking to get out of it?
I think it's worth $10,000.
Quite frankly, I have no idea. I've seen one of these before, but it's been over 20 years ago, and to tell you the truth, I can't remember what it was worth back then. But I know that they're worth money. What exactly that money is, I don't know if it's $500 or $10,000. But I do have a buddy who lives and breathes this kind of weird stuff, and he'll know. So if you don't mind hanging out for a little bit, I can get him down here?
I have some time.
Okay, cool, man. I'll be right back.
Let's do it. I'm excited to see what the expert has to say about my piece and shed some light on what the value might be.
Ben Franklin terracotta thingy I remember from like 20 years ago, but I'm not exactly sure what I remember.
This is fantastic. It is a Ben Franklin terracotta medal made by an artist named Jean-Baptiste Nini. It's right from the most important part of the American Revolution in some sense. 1778, he signed the agreement with France, which turned the tide of the war. So it's an incredible historical object. Ben Franklin was quite a celebrity, and he was a natural subject for an object like this, which was intended to be sold to the general public.
What do you think? Does it really hurt the value of the glue on the back of it?
Well, it doesn't actually hurt the value. It's a uniface medallion. What's important is the front of the piece.
Okay. So what do these things go for?
These are not very common, and this one's actually in very good shape. They're worth to a collector $1,500 to $2,000. in that range.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought the thing was worth 10 grand.
You know, they were never worth quite that much, but there was a time that this might have been worth 5,000.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. This piece is actually quite rare. If you wanted to go out and buy 20 of them in 6 months, it would be absolutely impossible.
So obviously you're not going to get 10 grand for it.
Make me an offer.
I'll give you 1,200 bucks for it.
No. I'll take 2,000 for it.
No. I'm assuming I'm going to get that for it.
18.
No. 1,200 bucks.
18.
All right, well, have a nice day. I mean,
You sure you don't want it?
I don't want it for that. I mean, you know, you have to look at my, right? I got a business here.
I'll come down, I'll sell it for $1,400 to you right now. Otherwise, I'm leaving with it.
You know what? You got a deal.
All right.
Thanks, man. I'll meet you right over there. I'll have one of my guys grab it. I'll meet you right over there and we'll do some paperwork.
All right, let's do
okay?
it. $1,400 I feel is fair. It's gonna go towards my student loans. I need some new tires for my truck, too.
How can I help you?
Well, I have a coin here. It's a portrait coin of Julius Caesar from the month before he got assassinated.
Okay.
This coin is really interesting.
Yeah, this is cool. Yes, I think I was actually Caesar in a different lifetime.
I'm coming into the shop today because I have a portrait Julius Caesar coin that I want to sell. I believe it's a key piece to any historical coin collection. I'm hoping to sell it for $4,400, but I absolutely love it, so I'm not going to take any lowball offer for it.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, you have Caesar Dictator. One of the neat things is where it says dictator on the front of it. That's a negative term nowadays, but back then it wasn't. During times of war, they would assign a person the title dictator, and a dictator would do what was necessary to preserve the republic. After Julius Caesar was assassinated, there was a real power vacuum in Rome, and it wasn't until Octavius that basically straightened everything out. The great thing about this is it's a 2,000-year-old coin with Caesar's face on it, and I want it. So, are you looking to sell it?
Yeah.
Okay. How much were you looking to get out of it?
I want $4,400, please.
Okay. There's a million variables, especially with ancient coins, and quite frankly, I don't know enough. I don't know if that's a good price or not. Do you mind if I have someone look at it?
Sure, please.
All right, I'll be right back.
Thank you. I'm really excited that an expert is coming in to attest to its authenticity.
Since the Roman Empire doesn't exist anymore, it's not illegal to fake these coins, and I have to find out if this is the real deal. So I called in Dave. This is the coin.
Okay. Julius Caesar. A few names in history ring with the familiarity of Julius Caesar. You know, there's Napoleon, you know, a few other people you can throw in. His murder inspired Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a serious bit of history. This particular coin was struck within 30 days prior to Julius Caesar's murder. Many historians believe that the fact that his portrait appeared on a coin was one of the things that led to his murder.
So is it real?
Do you mind if I take it out and look at it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Examine.
Okay. The strike is perfect. The style is correct. Everything is right.
Okay.
It's perfectly genuine.
All right.
So what do you think it's worth?
When you get a coin like this, there's no shortage of buyers. When they are in fantastic condition, the very best of these have brought in the neighborhood of $200,000 each.
Okay.
But there's a good amount of wear. It's circulated, and I think this is worth in the neighborhood of $1,500.
Retail?
Retail.
Okay.
To me, it seems almost ridiculous that somebody would sell it that low, especially when they knew its history.
Well, I'm basing it on what I've seen them sell for in auctions in Europe and the United States. But the decision is yours.
Thanks for coming in, man.
All righty, man. Thanks.
One last question. Where can I get these for such low prices?
I understand why the seller is not happy with that. You know, the fact is these things are undervalued, and it's probably best that he holds on to it because the bottom line is it's difficult to replace for less than its current market value.
Dave, he's been in the coin business his entire life, and I'm gonna take his opinion. You know, I'd give you $1,000 for the coin.
Is this a real offer, or?
That's a legitimate offer, yeah.
That's not a legitimate offer. You're just using your position here, trying to buy something for below its market value.
The way market value is determined is if two people agree on a price. If you don't like my price, you don't have to take it.
How about
but-
4,000?
No, there's no money to be made.
I have a final offer for you, 3,500, and I'll take cash, $100 bills.
I guess we're not gonna make a deal, man.
You're lost, my friend.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Have a nice one. The offer of $1,000 is absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna hold on to the coin and I'm gonna try to sell it to someone else that could actually appreciate its true historical value.
I got something here I think you'll really enjoy seeing.
Okay.
It's a very old Viking coin. It was found in England.
That's cool. And why do you call it a Viking coin?
Because it was used by the Vikings.
They were a really odd culture because they really didn't care about taking land. It was all about, let's get in a boat, let's cruise somewhere and just take everything they got.
I bought it when I was in England, in one of the country fairs. Just looked interesting. It's commonly called an English penny. Since my grandkids don't want it, I think somebody else might like to have it.
Generally, they were just raiders, okay? It got to the point where they didn't even have to invade anymore. The Viking ships would pull into a harbor. The people in the town, they would take just about all the gold and silver and everything else in the town, bring it down to the harbor and says, is this enough? And it got to a point where generally, yeah, we'll take it, we'll leave. And that is basically the way the Vikings works for a long time. Let me take a look at it. My big concern is there might be a few small clips on there, but they're almost always cut up. And this one's not cut up. It was actually a profession. People did this for a living. They would constantly get coins, bring them home, clip a little silver off, try to exchange them for some other ones. And before you know it, at the end of the month, you had a big pile of silver. Even though the Vikings did rule part of England at one time, I'm not sure how a coin with English markings can be considered Viking. If a connection is there, I think it might make it more valuable. I'm just not sure. What do you want to do with it?
I want to sell it.
Well, how much you want out of it?
All I can get.
Okay, well, you want $50?
No.
I do have a guy who will probably know a lot more about it than I do. My big concern is you wouldn't believe how many of these are faked. There's no law against faking them.
Well, that's what these are for. This is the provenance.
These aren't telling me anything. Let me explain something to you. If people figure out a way to fake something, they fake it. Always have, always will. So I'm gonna call a friend, get him down here. He's gonna look at it. If it's legit, we'll figure out a price and we'll maybe make a deal.
Okay.
Well, it definitely is an old penny struck in England. Dates to around 900 AD, which is exactly when the Vikings were in control of the whole area north of London, all the way up into Scotland, after the invasions of about 865.
All right.
And this particular type shows how the Vikings had adopted so many aspects of Anglo-Saxon culture. You notice the cross on one side. That's a Christian symbol. By the time this was struck, the Vikings, who were now in England, had converted.
So you think it's 100% legit?
You're both correct. It is a Viking coin struck in England.
Wow. What's it worth?
Well, this may help. Almost as interesting as the coin. This coin is pedigreed back to the 10th Duke of Argyll.
Okay, and when did he live?
Well, he died in 1949.
Okay.
And about the last decade, at least, of his life, he kind of devoted himself to his coins and his collections. This would have been his ticket that he wrote with his own hand. So this is really interesting. This coin is in really extraordinary shape, and I don't see any good evidence of clipping. So this coin was probably buried. Totally genuine, nice pedigree. I think it's probably worth
$1,200, maybe a touch more.
Okay.
It's a nice coin.
All right, thanks, man.
Hey, no problem. Glad I could help.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This particular coin is quite popular because it demonstrates how the Vikings had become invested into Anglo-Saxon culture, which gives it a little more esteem in the eyes of collectors.
So how much you want for it?
Well, he said it's worth $1,200, and I know you have to, this isn't free. So, how about 1,000? That gives you some room, and it is a super specimen.
It's cool, I'll give you that. How about 700?
I can't do 7. Would you go 800?
Yeah, I'll do 800 bucks.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, I'll meet you right up there.
All right. I think 800 is a right price for that coin. I'm going to take that 800, and I'll find a place for it here in Las Vegas.
Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Got a 1922 proof high-relief matte finish coin.
Okay. Where did you get this?
I won it at a poker game, believe it or not.
This is like one of the holy grails of American coins, and you won it in a poker game.
Yep.
Whoa. This is cool. In 1921, we brought the silver dollar back. And the story goes is they were going to try and make some really high relief ones. What this means by high relief right here is the image really comes off the coin. Okay, it's much higher detail. And I don't know the exact story, but there was like some problems and they got melted down. And most people didn't even know they existed for like 15 years. And then all of a sudden, some stories came from the mint that they actually existed. So there's like a dozen of these things in the world.
It's pretty rare.
Oh, well, it's beyond rare. The 1922 high relief peace dollar is one of the rarest coins in American history. It definitely shocks me that people will walk up to my counter and pull out an item worth $50,000 or $100,000 or more. I definitely want this thing, but I have to make absolutely sure this is the real deal. Silver dollars is what every coin collector collects. Everyone collects silver dollars, and maybe they collect half dollars and nickels, but they all buy silver dollars. I mean, that's the mainstay of collectible coins.
Okay.
So, how much you want for it?
20,000.
What, you want 20 for it? 20,000?
Do you think it's worth
Yeah,
it?
sure, no problem. Let's go. No, this is worth a lot more than 20 grand.
Oh. That's pretty awesome.
Do you mind if I call a friend to take a look at this? I have a few mega concerns here, okay? I've never seen one in person, and I just want to make sure everything's legit. I mean, if someone was to fake a coin, this is the one they would do it on. I'm actually friends with a guy who works at NGC. He's one of their best coin graders. And if everything's legit, maybe we'll do some business. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, hang out.
All right. I think there's a good chance it's legit. Obviously, nothing in this world is 100%, but I'm happy with an expert coming in for sure.
Dave!
Rick, how you doing?
I am doing absolutely fabulous, and this is it. Oh.
Wow. It isn't every day a 1922 high-relief peace dollar walks in the door.
This guy got in a poker game.
Oh, my God. It's always nice to get called in on an exciting coin. This coin is particularly interesting, historical, and it's rare as hen's teeth.
Now, what exactly is the story with this coin? I mean, this was the coin the government minted, but no one knew they minted it for like 15 or 20 years?
That's correct. None of these had transacted until 1937. These were more or less unknown, and they carried over the high relief of the 1921 issues, all of which, by the way, were stuck in a one-week period at the end of 1921. Now, the high relief design was sort of a triumph of art and a failure of technology because although they were beautiful, they couldn't strike them with enough pressure to get a lot of them out. So they ended up early in 1922 having to reduce the relief of the design.
Okay.
So I assume your main concern is it real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
It is in an NGC holder, which is wonderful. The holder is completely intact and genuine. And the coin is perfectly legitimate. It's one of very few known.
Okay, so the big thing is, what's it worth?
One of these sold very recently that brought a touch over 100,000. It's a little bit nicer than this, but not too far apart. I think this coin is worth something north of 50, but less than 100.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Super rare, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
All right, there you go.
All right.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
Sounds good. I'm quite excited that this is the real thing. Very few specialists have had the chance to actually handle them, but finding one of these, especially walking into a pawn shop, is really extraordinary.
I should have just gave you the 20 grand and not called in Dave.
I'm happier now.
I'll give you $65,000.
What about 90? I think 90 is fair.
You were willing to take 20 grand for it.
You weren't willing to offer me 20 grand for it.
I think 75 is fair.
Meet me in the middle at 80, and you got a deal.
It's a deal.
All right.
Okay. All right, let's go up front. I'll write you up.
I made 80,000 on the coin. Super excited about it. Definitely gonna keep playing poker. Hopefully I get another coin like this sometime.
I have a penny I'd like to sell.
That is, whoa, not a penny.
It's not a penny?
No. The United States has never made a penny. Most people don't realize that. Those damn Brits made a penny, but we've never made a penny. We've always made a cent. And the reason why it's called a cent is because it's 1%, two different things.
So we made sense. It's an American coin, and it was minted just after we got our independence from England, so very old, 1791. I bought it from an individual about 30 years ago. I'd like to get at least $2,200. I don't think I'll take any less than that.
Early American coins are an absolute nightmare to judge. You really have to know what you're doing, or you can make an expensive mistake. But if it is real, we could be talking a lot of money. Did you have an idea what you wanted for it?
Well, I had an offer, that's 20 years ago now, but from a man who I think is still around, and he offered me $2,000 for it.
Who knows? I mean, quite frankly, it's worth anywhere between nothing and God knows how much. So I'm gonna give my buddy a call. I'm gonna have him come down here, and he's gonna look at it, and he's gonna explain it to me and you, because you know, I don't know anything about it. I just don't. I got a few minutes. Look around. Maybe there's you can spend some of your money.
Thank you. I'm a bit excited. I think a second opinion is going to be great. It is a real coin. It is an American coin. It is early. And hopefully he will see the value in it that I see in it, or maybe more.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, well, this is kind of interesting. Okay, this is neither a coin nor American, but it's very important to the early coinage history of the United States. This was actually struck in 1791, as the date indicates, in Birmingham, England.
Really?
Yeah.
Birmingham, England.
This was actually manufactured with a very specific commercial motive. The United States Mint was not founded until a year after this was struck. In 1791, the United States Congress was working with all sorts of ideas about establishing a U.S. mint. And one of the possibilities was that they were going to contract out the striking of coinage. Two enterprising Englishmen of the name Walker created the dies for this, and then they were struck at a mint in Birmingham. They shipped a keg, we know of one keg, to their agents in Philadelphia, and they distributed them to all sorts of congressmen, senators, VIPs. In other words, they were trying to win a government contract.
And the king didn't chop their fingers off or anything for that?
No, surprisingly.
So is it real?
Well, I'm going to check it with a loupe just to make sure. It's struck rather than cast, and it has the engrailed edge. The surfaces are correct.
Everything about it is absolutely correct. This is genuine.
Okay, sweet. And now, is it worth $1 million?
No.
What is it actually worth?
Based upon condition, they range from $200 or $300 or $400 up to $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 if you get one that is just in amazing condition. This coin falls quite a bit short of that. This is the kind of coin that retails somewhere around $750, $800. And it will very actively sell at that level.
Okay.
Hey, not a problem. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon, man.
As with all collectible coins, condition is incredibly important to determining value. This is a very nice coin, and it's worth a respectable amount.
Actually, it's worth a lot more than I thought it was. I'll give you $500 for it.
I've still got a $2,000 offer on the table for it, and if I do, I have to check on that first.
To negotiate at this point would be moot because there's no way I would come near that. So see if the guy is still willing to pay you $2,000. If not, come back and we'll talk.
I'll give it a try. We may see each other again.
Okay, have a nice day, man.
Thank you. I think since I had a better offer before, hopefully it'll still be out there.
Hey, how can I help you?
I have a coin I think you might be interested in.
Okay.
It's a steel penny. You familiar with those?
Yes, I am. Whoa. It's a 1944 steel penny. That is really neat. I know there's less than 100 of them in existence.
From my research, there's less than 30 that exist.
Okay. You know, I own a pawn shop and I deal in a gazillion different things, so I can't know everything, even though my kids tell me I'm a know-it-all.
I'm coming to the pawn shop today to sell a 1944 steel penny. This is a very rare coin. It was given to me as a gift for my 70th birthday. I know I don't look 70 years old, but I am as old as this coin.
It's amazing. This is a really, really weird coin. This coin isn't supposed to exist. It was...
That's correct.
You know, World War II happens along. I mean, just everything was rationed. Bacon was rationed. And, you know, the U.S. government came along and says, hey, you know, we make tens of millions of pennies every year. Basically told the U.S. Mint, you have to make cents out of something else because copper is a war metal. So they started making, you know, the cents during 1943 out of steel that were zinc plated, and everyone absolutely hated them. People were confusing the steel cent for a nickel or a dime. So in 44, we stopped making the steel pennies. But when you're making tens of millions of cents, you know, there were steel bends and stuff like that, and they think that like some of the blanks got like stuck in the corners and things like that. And when they were pouring them out into the machines, a few of these got made. This coin is one of the great mistakes of the U.S. Mint. And in general, when the United States Mint makes a mistake on a coin, that coin is going to be worth a lot of money. How much are you asking for this?
$102,000.
Whoa. I am going to call in a friend, look at this thing over 100%. You know what I mean? For
102%.
102%, yeah. This is pretty amazing.
These 1944 steel cents and the 1943 copper cents are probably the most famous errors of the 20th century from the United States Mint. And you would not believe how many people have dug through mounds and mounds of pocket change trying to find one of these. Because if you find one, it's a gold mine, and we're looking at one of them right now.
Yes, you are, yes.
So how many of those actually got out into circulation?
Well, that's a big question because these were struck at all three mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. They struck, it was something like 2 billion cents in 43 and 44 at the three mints. And the total population of off-metal strikes is about 60. And most of them were struck at Philadelphia, like this one.
Okay.
May represent something like half the known population. However, it's still a rare coin.
Yeah, and there's only 30 of them out of a couple billion. That makes it pretty rare.
It's a very rare coin.
So what do you think this would go for?
Approximately $30,000. And
that seems awfully low to me.
It's a public auction, both of them.
That's okay, but you don't necessarily have to bring this coin to a public auction.
No, but public auctions are actually where the most realistic prices are set because Every major collector in the world gets those catalogs because these are high-profile auctions.
There's many sites that value that coin a lot higher than that number.
But the auctions are very clear in determining the value of these coins.
Okay. All right. Have a good one, Dave.
All righty. Thanks.
The value of $30,000 for this coin is extremely low. This is probably one of the rarest penny coins in existence. I don't know where the expert came up with that value.
It is what it is. If this thing, I would give you 25 grand for it.
No, I'm not sure you know what you have here.
Well, I know exactly what I have. I have something that I could probably sell between $30,000 and $35,000.
There's none for sale, though. There's none of these for sale. This is the one.
Okay.
This is the only one in the state of Nevada.
Maybe, but it's still what it is. What's the lowest you'd go?
You know, I'd drop it down to the minimum that it's valued at about $75,000.
Not gonna happen.
Then we will not be able to make a deal.
Have a good one, though. Thanks for stopping by, though.
No problem. I think the offer of $25,000 is ridiculously low, but I'll just keep it in the family, and somebody eventually will sell it for a lot more than I'm being offered today.
What is this?
I'm not so sure. I picked it up from an estate sale, and I've done a little research on it, but I'm not quite sure exactly what it means. I was at an estate sale, and I found the coin mixed in with a bunch of other items, and I've had it now for about 3 months, and it's really hard to find out how much coins are worth. The information's just not out there, but I'm hoping to get somewhere in the near 15,000.
It's actually in really, really good condition. Hey, Rick, check it out.
This is interesting. Do you know anything about it?
Just a little bit of a story about the guy. He was a king, and he conquered a bunch of land.
I'm probably pronouncing this all wrong. King Mithridates or something like that, I forget. He was the king of Pontus, where Turkey is today. You know, he had control of cities where there was a lot of Roman citizens. I mean, one day he basically killed 80,000 Romans within his cities because he was afraid they were going to rebel against him. He married his sister. I don't know if they have kids or not. You know, it would be a little awkward, I guess, especially at school. King Mithridates was such a bad guy. He was a tyrant, but he was also a really great general, and the Roman Empire could not expand until they got rid of this guy. He was definitely no joke. What were you looking to get out of it?
Maybe 15?
1,500?
No.
15,000?
Yes.
This is the problem with old coins like this. They're counterfeited all the time, but then again, there's also the possibility it's real. I need someone to look at it. If you don't mind hanging out for a little bit, let me get someone down here who knows all about this. Give me 5 minutes, okay?
Thank you.
So you want to buy a coin while you're waiting?
Not really, I came to sell one. Rick's gonna call an expert in, but at the same time, he thinks it might be fake, and that concerns me, because I was really hoping that it was going to be real.
How's it going, man?
Good.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the guy who married his sister, ate poison, and was more or less killed by the Romans.
I'm guessing Mithridates.
Yes, however you pronounce it.
Well, on here it says King Mithridates Eupatros, which is descended of a noble father.
Okay.
He was descended on his mother's side from Greek kings like Alexander, and on his father's side from Persian kings. So he literally, on one side, he has the Greek heritage covered. On the other side, he has his Persian heritage. And you notice how he looks a little bit like Alexander the Great on here with that wild flowing hair. He did this on purpose.
Because in this time period, everyone wanted to be the great general, the great leader that Alexander the Great was.
Very interesting.
3 wars with Rome. He started by imprisoning his mother and his brother, married his sister, and in the end, he was betrayed by his own son and committed suicide.
Okay.
What a lovely family.
Sounds like the Kardashians.
So how old is this coin?
If it's real, it's about 2,200 years old.
Ooh-wee.
But the survival rate is very low, so I'm gonna loop it. Yeah, this is the real deal.
How much is something like that valued at?
Well, these are in real demand from collectors. It's probably 10,000 plus. Yeah.
Pretty nice coin there.
It's a beautiful coin.
Well, thanks, Dave. I appreciate it,
No
man.
problem. Thank you.
All right.
Best of luck. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, finding a coin like this in an estate sale is like the proverbial needle in a haystack. It's something really unusual.
So what do you realistically want out of it?
10?
Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, there's a million expenses involved in selling it, and I got to make something.
What are you thinking?
More like 5.
5?
Okay.
You got to be able to do better than that.
No, but I have to get it sent off. I have to get it encapsulated and graded.
How about 7?
You know, I don't mean to beat you up here. I really don't. I'd give you like $5,500 for it. It's a tough sell. It really is. Some things like this can sit around here for years.
I just want to see if there's a way that I can maybe sell it to a collector.
You want to shop it around?
If I still have it in a month or 2, would you still be willing to buy it at that time?
Yeah, as long as the world hasn't come to an end or anything like that, yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, have a nice day.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Likewise, thank you. I really have nothing to lose. Rick said I can come back in a month or 2 if I still have it, if I haven't found another buyer.
Tightwad.
You'll never understand business, will you? Oh, but you want to be manager. That's right. Okay, never mind. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good?
Good.
What do we got here?
Scarface Morgan Silver Dollar, top 100 variety.
It's one of the cooler ones. It's got probably the coolest name, though. Say hello to my little friend.
Indeed. I have an 1888 Morgan Dollar Scarface variety that I'm coming into the pawn shop looking to sell today. There's about 19 of these in existence in graded mint state. I'm hoping to sell the coin for $15,000.
This is interesting. Morgan Silver Dollar. To this day, it's the most popular collected coin in the United States. Morgan Silver Dollars, they came out in 1878. The reason why it's called a Morgan dollar is that the engraver was named Morgan. We basically imported him from England because we wanted prettier coins, because they were kind of blah. You know, we just got to be honest about it. So they called him, and he made this beautiful design, and it literally came out of the mint like this. By making silver dollars, the government would actually make money off the whole thing. So we wanted tons of silver dollars in circulation. So the way the coin's made, you have a steel die on one side and another steel die on the other side, and they put a planchet in the center. So the machine starts stamping them out really quickly, and the minting machine basically broke. And so Lady Liberty here has a scarred out her face. It was basically a mistake. And then they replaced the die. But the thing is, some of these ended up in the bags of silver dollars that were going to banks, and some of them actually got out of circulation. Yeah, so where'd you get it?
I found it in a box. Actually been sitting in my collection for about 4 years. I thought it was a scratch for 4 years and did some research and found out it's actually pretty rare.
It's pretty rare. I don't know how many exist, but I'm sure it's less than 100. I've never seen one of these things in person before. I've seen them in books and like magazines, things like that. Super cool that you just ran across it, so you probably paid like 20 bucks for it.
I'll plead the fifth.
All right. So here's the deal. There's a weird marketing coins of people who collect errors, and this is considered an error, and it's like one of the coolest errors.
It's the king of the errors.
Yeah, they're pretty collectible. Did you know how much you wanted for it?
$15,000.
$15,000. I have no idea if that's the right price. Normally on like a graded coin, you can just look it up and get a really quick idea of the market value. But when you start talking rare, weird stuff, there's not really a price guide. I got a friend who specializes just basically in weird coins. Cool. So give me a minute. I'll be right back, okay?
Sure.
Ah, your little friend. Wow. That's it. That's a Scarface. This is one of the most significant of the errors of Morgan dollars. This one is particularly expensive because it is just a huge die break. This die was probably literally almost falling apart when this coin was struck. So you can tell from here, the die is broken almost all the way across. So there are 4 acknowledged states of this, and collectors of these kinds of things, the more destruction, the better. If you got this in the first die state, it's a $125 coin. If you get it in the final die state, it's worth many thousands. This is a terminal die state, which means it's the most valuable. So it makes a big difference.
Okay, so going off the fact that it's like a terminal die state, what's it worth?
It's a very, very specialized coin. The collecting of errors of Morgan dollars really was only popularized in the last 30 years, and this one appeals to a very narrow audience. Because they're so highly individual, they kind of go all over the place in terms of pricing. The record for one of these is almost 20,000, and that was for one that was a little nicer than this, like a grade higher. But these things are very difficult to come up with an exact price, because in one auction they'll bring a little more, in one auction a little less, and the market has mellowed a little bit since then. So this is worth about $7,000.
Well, thanks, Ben.
Perfect. Thank you, and congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I'd give you like $4,500 for it.
I'm gonna have to pass on that. I've received offers above that, and I have no desire to sell it. It's part of my collection.
So you've received offers of more than $7,000? I'd go take it then.
Okay.
All right. If the other offer falls through and you want $4,500, come and see me.
Will do. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Thank you. Rick's offers bargain basement pricing. $4,500 is just too low. I've had it in my collection for a few years. I don't need to sell it.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Oh, hey, Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
I was in town, and I have a couple coins to show you I think you might like.
Okay, let me see them. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. First coin is an 1838 Gobrecht dollar. These were what they call pattern silver dollars, so they were like an experimental issue.
Most people don't realize this. Back in the day, the Mint was always coming up with new designs. They actually tried to get a nickel into circulation that was a nickel, but it had a hole in the center, so everyone called it the Holy Nickel.
I know Rick, and I was in town, and I have a couple of coins that have really good stories, and I think he might like buying them. Today, I want to show Rick I have an 1838 Gobrecht silver dollar, and I have an 1857 S double eagle from the shipwreck of the SS Central America. The 1838 Gobrecht silver dollar, I'm looking to get $27,000 for it, and the 1857 S double eagle, I'm trying to get $14,000.
This is incredible. I love the pattern dollars because the engravers at the Mint were really trying to do the best they could do. And this one?
Well, this is a great coin with a really neat story. So this is an 1857 S San Francisco double eagle, and this was made at the San Francisco Mint. And this ship called the SS Central America was on its way to New York City. And in 1857, it sank in a hurricane, and 425 people died on this ship. So it was really one of the biggest tragedies in American maritime history. So this is one of the coins that was recovered in the 1980s.
Okay, so big question. What do you want for them?
The 1838 Gobrecht dollar, I would sell that for $27,000. And for the price, Proof 65 example of this coin would be closer to $100,000. So it's a really great looking coin at an affordable price.
You know, $27,000 is not really an affordable price to most people.
Yeah, I think that. Better than $100,000.
And what do you want for the shipwreck coin?
The shipwreck coin I would sell for $14,000.
This one, I don't want. It's a great coin. It might be a great price and everything like that. The thing I hate about coins like this, it's off a shipwreck. My big fear is a few years from now, they'll go back down to the shipwreck again, and they'll find a couple thousand of these, bring them up, and it takes the price down of all of them because somebody just flooded the market. Now, this one, I know there was only...
Guarantee there's no more of those coming out of the ocean.
Yes, there was only like 20 of those made, and they're as rare as hen's teeth. When people come in with ancient coins, I call them one of my experts. But these are the kinds of coins I deal on a regular basis for years and years and years. So they're in my wheelhouse. So I know exactly what these coins are, and I don't need to call anybody in because I know what I'm dealing with. Would you take 22 grand for it?
No, I couldn't do that. It's you know, it's a great coin, and I'd be losing money at that. So
I mean, I am buying this for myself. Okay,
well,
so you know, because I collect these kind of coins, and I don't. I mean, what's your best price?
Very, very best price I would do. I would sell it for $25,000.
So we got a deal at 24?
If you're buying it for yourself, I would sell it for the $24,000.
All right, sweet, we got a deal.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay,
Thanks.
even though it's for myself, we still got to do paperwork. So you want to go over there?
Okay.
I'll write you up.
That sounds good. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, bring them both with you.
Okay.
You must be Walter.
Yes, I am.
Your phone call got me a little excited. So this is it.
That is the half Disme. The other is the Libertas.
This is pretty damn amazing. The half Disme could be considered the first American coin.
Yes, very rare piece. Very rare.
One of the things I don't get about early American coins, were eagles that skinny back then?
We didn't feed them very much. I'm here to sell these two really, really rare coins, the half Disme and the Libertas. I really love collecting the coins, but I need to sell a couple of them off so I can buy some other ones at an auction, and I just hope to make a good deal here.
This is really, really cool.
The half Disme was minted in 1792.
1792, we just elected George Washington president. We finally have a constitution, and since we're a country, we got to start making our own currency here. But the problem was, for the first 50 years of our country, the mint never got its act together. We had difficulties getting the silver and the gold and everything else like that. And I couldn't imagine being a merchant right after the Revolutionary War in this country, because if you had any kind of store, you took British pounds and French francs and Spanish reals, because there's just always a shortage of American coins. But this is the very first one, and the rumor has it that George Washington basically jacked Martha's silverware to have it made.
That is the story, no documentation about, but that is the story about that.
You know what? I'm going to stick with the story because I like it.
You got it, okay.
Makes George Washington look a little gangster.
Yes.
And this is the Libertas Americana. This is absolutely great. Benjamin Franklin had this commissioned in France, right?
Yes. In 1781, he helped design this to get France to mint that coin on behalf of the American friendship in France.
I know the baby is the United States, right?
Right. And the lion is England.
Of course. This lady right here is France?
That's correct. She's protecting the child, the United States, from England.
That's super cool.
And then in 1783, Thomas Jefferson was in Paris. He's the one that took these medals back to America, and he passed it on to the senators and the congressmen.
It's pretty damn amazing. How much?
For the Libertas, $200,000. For the half Disme, I'm looking for $600,000. $800,000 for the pair.
Ooh, damn. That is a lot of money. Do you mind if I go make a few phone calls real quick?
Sure.
I was pretty excited when you called. These are amazing. Most of them are not this condition.
All right, so what do you think they would go for?
Well, the 1792 half Disme with the right buyer would probably bring $500,000 to $600,000.
All right, and this one?
The Libertas Americana, I would say for the right buyer for this piece, $200,000 would be about right.
Okay, well, thanks, man.
Okay, I hope that helps you. Good luck, thanks.
Yeah.
If Rick can buy these coins, they're very, very popular. There's a lot of people who would love to own them, and he would have no trouble selling them, so I hope he's able to purchase them.
Okay, first off, the half Disme, it's pretty damn amazing. And I'm sure I'll never hold another one in my hands. But if I was to buy it and then I couldn't sell it, it would put a financial burden on me. So I'm gonna pass on this one right here. I'm just gonna let you know that. This one, I have multiple customers, and even if they don't buy it, I think I can eventually do something with it. So, $140,000?
140.
$140,000.
You heard the man. You have to make some money. I understand this. I can see, how about 180?
I will give you $150,000. At that price, I feel comfortable.
You couldn't do 160.
I will go 150. I think it's more than a fair price.
It's a deal.
Sweet. I will meet you right over there, and we will do some paperwork. You take that one.
I'll take this one.
I'll take this one. I'll meet you right over there.
Okay.
One of these days, there's going to be a coin with my face on it.
I have an ancient Roman coin I'd like to sell. It's from 42 BC.
Is that what I think it is?
It's 2 daggers, and it says Ides of March.
Is Brutus on the other side?
Yes.
Damn.
I'm at the pawn shop because I would like to see if I could sell my Ides of March coin. I think the coin is the holy grail of Roman coins. If I can sell it, I've got my eye on some rare coins that are coming up for auction in about a month.
That's pretty cool. That says Ides of March. And that whole line became famous because of the Shakespearean play where Julius Caesar goes and sees a soothsayer and he goes, beware the Ides of March.
Right.
So where did you get this?
I bought this from a dealer in California, probably in the mid-'80s.
It's just such amazing history. Brutus and some other guys in the Roman Senate got together and say, hey, when Julius Caesar shows up today, we're all going to walk up and say, hey, dude, what's up? And then we're all going to stab him. And it was like 12 guys or 13 guys that stabbed Julius Caesar?
At least.
And he died right there on the Senate floor. I mean, it would be the equivalent today of killing a president in the Capitol building. Brutus made this coin to just basically celebrate the fact that, you know, I'm the great guy that killed Julius Caesar.
But what I think's interesting, too, if you look at the other side, he put his portrait on it. And this was one of the things that Julius Caesar got criticized for, was putting his portrait on a coin while he was living.
It's to this day in politics, you know, you'll have a guy running for office criticizing everything the other guy's doing, and the second he gets in office, he starts doing that. Brutus didn't stay around much longer after this to tell us exactly what happened. He thought the Roman people were all going to rally around him and everything was going to be great, and it didn't work out too well. It really, really is an amazing coin. I know there's not a lot of these in the world, and this one is in incredible shape. How much do you want for it?
I'd like to get $150,000.
Okay, I know they're worth a ridiculous amount of money, but let me call a friend of mine and take a look at it. And it's a lot of money, and I want his opinion on whether it's real or not. It's not that I don't trust you, it's just I don't trust anybody. And we'll see if we can make a deal.
Sounds great.
When you told me you had a coin with 2 daggers and a cap on it, I ran down here.
It's like literally Game of Thrones when this was going on. I mean, everybody was vying for power.
Yes. With the collapse of the Republic and the paving of the way for the Empire, which literally changed history, it all boils down to this coin. This is Brutus celebrating the fact that he murdered Julius Caesar on the Ides of March.
Okay, so the big question, what do you think it's worth?
This one has the advantage of having a very large planchet where you can see the whole design. And the abbreviation of Brutus above his head is totally clear. Can I take a closer look at it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you. Such a famous coin. And it looks like there are no issues. This is the real deal.
Okay.
Personally, I think a collector would be very happy to pay about $125,000 for the coin. But if a bunch of people showed up at the auction, it could bring 140, 150 grand.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Best of luck. Congratulations. Thank you. Personally, I would advise Rick to buy this coin if he can get it for the right price. It's a really good example with all of the details visible. So I think it's the kind of coin that most collectors would be very happy to have.
I agree with Dave. It's an incredible coin. It's like uber cool. And I would give you $100,000 for it.
I could come down maybe to 140.
This is the way I look at it. I have to send it off, I have to encapsulate it, and this whole process takes like a year. If I give you $110,000, I know I will at least break even.
I've got to have more than that.
110's it.
Yeah, I don't think I can go below 140.
If you change your mind or have really bad luck while you're in town, come back and see me.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool.
The offer of $110,000 is quite a bit lower than what I wanted to accept because I absolutely love the coin, and it would be quite a hole in my collection that would need to be replaced.